All right, let's review this game from last Wednesday. And I did say that it was going to be the hardest shoot around game of the entire season. Or should I just say, of all time? Huh. If you thought the one from the last two Fridays was hard, was the hardest, this one is just even the harder one. It's even harder than the one from the last couple of Fridays. This arguably is the hardest one I've ever done, considering that not only is it a three pointers only game, but the fact that I'm limited only five, 3-point attempts in the second part of the activity, where if I used all five of them, then I would have no choice but to attempt only fours, and that's what really cost me this game, and also snapping my 6-game winning streak. So you know I did expect myself to lose this game. I did expect the loss. It was I did only lose by 12, but here's the interesting part. If you look in the beginning of this game, as you can see on the left side here of this thumbnail, the first screenshot here on how it started, I made 4 out of 5 threes to begin the game, which is why the score was what it was, early in the first, the first part of the activity, where it was a rotation of threes and fours. I was red hot to actually start the game, surprisingly. So I hit about a couple threes that got me up 6-0, and then I missed one, despite the first offensive rebound, where I was 6-3. And then I hit a four, my first four, that got me up 10-3, and then followed by a 3-point three-pointer that got me up by 10, which is, to me, my largest lead of the entire game, until I blew it, where the target scorer had a 21-0 run that eventually got me down by 11, 13-24. And so the interesting thing is, I was red hot to start this game. Where I was not so hot, I was cold rather, was the free throws. When I used all of my timeouts in both parts, mind you, I was in the first part of the activity, I only made one free throw, and that was when I used the second timeout, or was it the second timeout? No, that was in the second part of the activity, where I used my my first timeout, and I was already down by 17, so I made the only one free throw to get me down by 16, followed by eventually a 4-pointer. That was pretty much the last overall shot of the entire game, and the second part of the activity. So all in all, dude, of all the time, like, having used both timeouts in both parts, if I total that up, that is, was it on 4, 105, 106, 1 out of 8. 1 of 8 from free throws. If I gotta take a wild guess, since that Hollifield Park game where I made my first free throw and then proceeded to miss 15 straight after that, which is so unheard of. And since then, I've just been, like, almost every shoot-around game, including both Zimmerman Park games, particularly the second Zimmerman Park game, where I won at the buzzer by 4, I was missing a ton of free throws. Dude, even that last set of free throws that I had on my second time out, where I was down by 3, when I needed that, man, I was just choking them free throws left and right. And so I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know what it is, if I have to make a wild guess since that Holland Field Park game, I'm probably gonna say, huh, I was probably like 60% on free throws. Surprisingly, in the John Marshall Park game at John Marshall, I made 5 straight free throws, and that was the key to actually winning the game because at that point, after making 5 straight, I was already up, I think, by 8 at the time. So I pushed to a comfortable lead, late in the game with 5 straight free throws. So the 5 straight free throws were actually key. And, you know, even if I missed a three, you know, and in the final minute or so, I would still only be up by 2. But I mean, I made the last 2 anyhow, and the game was over at the time. I won 42-31. That was a great comeback game, much better than the first time I played there, where I made no free throws. I mean, excuse me, free throws, 3 pointers. And so, you know, and as for this one though, like, I don't know what it is. Aside from that John Marshall Park game, I've just been missing free throws left and right, and it's just crazy. I don't know. I don't know if it's just, I don't know. It might just be a dry spell I'm going through or what. I had a dry spell on 3-point shots like in mid-June. So I remember that game on, what was it, the Mary Jane's birthday, where on the second part I needed like 6 threes, and it was an embarrassing one because I only made one, and that was on the 17th attempt. So at that time I was already in a dry spell of just missing threes. I mean, it just happens. I mean, I will already have rough stretches like that. Hell, last year, last season, to start the 2024 year, first 3 games, I didn't make a 3 despite so many good looks. So it just so happens we all have those dry spell moments, and right now my dry spell is just missing free throws. And at one point in June, like since me and Sam's 10-year best friend friendship anniversary, I was just missing threes, and that's where I hit the dry spell, right? So, and by the way, regarding that Mary Jane birthday game, I'm gonna have one on the road as well. And since I got my 3-point touch again, and I should be able to do much better. It depends where I will play for the Mary Jane birthday game. I'll make that happen on the road. Same with the Pearl Jane one. So stay tuned for that. As it pertains to this game, overall I wasn't all that disappointed. Yes, I lost. Like I said, I was expected to lose, and it was just I mean, for the most part, it was really good in the beginning. When I was up by 10, I thought maybe this is going to be a close one. And, in comparison to the other game at home where I was down by 18, I thought I had no shot. And somehow just ultimately came back, started getting hot late. And, ultimately I was up by 1 with that 1 4-pointer with the final 30 seconds or so. And then missed a 3, down by 2, needed a 4, and came up short, and lost a close one. Here I lost by 12, and obviously this one was much harder as expected, but I will have another one like this, one more, but it's going to be on the road, and that's going to be the same exact rules from the time I did it at home. So with this one being the hardest, I'm sure, like, if I do the one like I did exactly at home in Cerritos Park East, I think that one will be not as extremely hard. But, I mean, we'll never know. But I will have one more of this, and it will be done on the road. And I'll make sure there's a 3-point line around it, even though a lot of times I have a tendency to shoot from the top of the key. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, overall, I thought this game, I mean, it was good in the beginning, and then I started to cool off, and just lost my rhythm, and eventually proceeded to lose by 12 even after being down by 17. So, I mean, for the most part, I had a lot of good looks, especially on from the fours, like late. But I think it was just some exhaustion. But for the most part, like just after having that 10-point lead, like early, with only 3:36 left, as you can see there, you know, and just running down the clock, I did everything right basically, and it's just coming up short. If you think about it, losing by 12 points, it's actually not ridiculous, not ridiculously bad. But I would have expected myself to probably have lost by like, or by some, or by any viewer would probably think losing by 20 or just even close to 20. But I only lost by 12, and especially after I was up by 10 early in the game. So, just a quick turn of events, and all of a sudden I got cold. The target score went on a 21-0 run, and that's when I lost. But I mean, it's games like this where it's super hard that you can do so well in the beginning, and next thing your rhythm is already pretty much taken out quickly, especially if this is a 3 points only game. So I mean, was it possible to even win this one? Yes. Had I not missed like the last several fours, I'm pretty sure I would have won. But you know, it's it's like those 4 point shots, the 4 point attempts, like those 30-foot 3 pointers. They're just an even lower percentage shot than than the actual 3 point 3 pointers. Not too far off from the 3 point line. They're just really close to it. Yes, they're still low percentage shots, but they're a little higher than the 4 pointer ones. And mind you, I have made consecutive 4 pointers before. But I can't. It's not a thing of consistency that I would do. It's just if I get hot and I make like 3 straight, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I already saw myself make a few consecutive of these in some games, including, just earlier this year, Pearl James' birthday, and last year, obviously, the Steph Curry gold medal tribute game, and Erich's birthday, obviously. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe I would have made like consecutive fours, but because it was a threes only game, my rhythm was already much been taken out of, and after being so hot in the beginning, it's next thing you know, I just ended up being cold, and aside from the last 3 point shot, was just a 4 pointer to cut it to 12. That was pretty much it. Now the next one coming up, which is the same exact rules as from the last couple of Fridays, it should, like, if I was able to almost win in the last couple of Fridays, I think with this one, I may just have. I mean, I want to sound really confident. I might have a good chance. So we'll just see what happens. But that one will be coming up in sometime in September. So probably early September. So let's just do that. All right. It's gonna be so much fun. So, can you imagine having this kind of game like in the finals of the burst season tournament? Oh my God. So, yeah, man. I just thought I'd cover this. This game obviously with the loss that snapped my 6-game winning streak. I had already earned 70 wins prior to this game, so it's not like even if I were to lose 5 in a row. I'm still going to gain home court advantage throughout the entire burst season tournament since I already hit the magic number. But still, I want the magical. I want to, just still have a magical season, So, yep, that's all I got to say about it, man. Let me know what you guys think. I'm pretty sure, like, in the next one like this, I feel my chances of winning just being there if I just stay focused. All right, peace.